on hope.
And welcome to our special Star Wars Celebration Day 1 recap show. I am your host, I think, Alberto Calderon, and I'm joined by our co-host, OT1 Kenobi. OT, I don't know where even to begin, but it is Star Wars Celebration Day 1. Are you alive? Is this real life? What's going on?
I'm so glad that we're doing the episode at night and not right after the event because I was all over the place. I was listening to my podcast recap and I was just like
just going off.
I've never done cocaine, but I'm pretty sure that's how it feels like.
Oh man, cocaine bear out there in Puerto Rico.
Cocaine OT.
Dude, we're gonna go into it deep, but wow, what a morning. And I'm, like you said, I'm glad a little bit, right? It's not here in the States or in Puerto Rico, someplace close. It's all the way out there in London, but I'm glad that we got all this right at 8 in the morning. We're all in. And then this high went all the way till right now. This is unprecedented.
I think the stream ended at 1 and I was, or maybe like 12:30. I was like, now what? Like, what do I do with the rest of my day?
Yeah, I was like, I posted a few minutes ago. I couldn't read Cataclysm. I got it a couple of days ago. I'm really into it, really loving it. I got it. You got it. There you go. See, you thought it was coming Saturday. I mean, it is. Anyway, start reading. It's great. I'm like 100 pages into it, but today I had no chance to even touch it.
Let's go to the chat because it's running wild.
Let's go. Who's out there? I know everyone's coming today.
We have Mo. Hi, Prima.
Oh.
We have Alan Shing. How are you, Alan?
How are you doing?
Nice to see you in the chat. Dale, as always. Dale. We have Brennan here. Also. Brennan. We have Mo again. Bombarded with news this morning. Yes, we were, Mo. Yes, we were.
I know everyone. And Roberto's there. He's been hyping the show all week.
Yep. Thank you so much for that. Hello there. Hello.
Dude, it's for the people out there on the West Coast and Midwest that just woke up to the Ahsoka news and to the Rey news. That's also had to be something. Yeah. Like, what's going on?
Roberto was like, "Oh, I missed it. What did I miss?" I was like, "Dude,
just go. You gotta go." Let's get some things out of the way. If you're joining us for the first time, thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe to our show. Leave us a like. Comment down below if you're watching this later. Make sure you subscribe to our show. And if you're watching now live, everyone out there, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. It helps our show, lets us grow. Channel keeps growing little by little. Maybe eventually they'll start inviting us to some Star Wars stuff. Give us some books to review live or something. I don't even know where to go from here. This, like I said, this was a day to remember. So we're celebrating. Yeah. Oh no, you gotta get those. But thanks for everyone out there in the chat. Yes, and Alan, like you're saying that PST time, people just woke up to the biggest news. And tomorrow, Mo, you gotta be there bright and early. I want to say it starts 1 hour later. I might be wrong. I think the Andor panel is the first one tomorrow, and then the High Republic panel, and those are gonna be great. So it's gonna be, and as Ahsoka actually, I think is the panel tomorrow. So let's see how that goes. But while Oti talks to his mom and gets back here, let's start getting the show ready. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's talk Star Wars. And today is all about Star Wars news.
Star Wars news.
Right. And if it's Star Wars news, there's only one type of news. And it's Star Wars Celebration 2023 coming all the way from Europe this year. People were kind of weirded out because they weren't going to be streaming the big panel, the big Lucasfilm showcase. That's the same thing they did last year. They didn't stream that, which is fine because a lot of people were out there live tweeting, so we kept getting all the news as they were coming. For myself, I woke up early because I had to take my kids to school. So as I'm waiting for them, I'm just scrolling through Twitter. And thanks to everyone out there that was just live tweeting. Made life a lot easier and a lot less stressful, but also so emotional that I didn't know how to contain myself. And then having to work the rest of the day. At least I was working from home, but by 10 in the morning, I still haven't done any work. I did some, just in case some work folks are watching. But I want to at least hear from you guys. How did you watch our celebration? If you were East Coast or just decided to power through the night and just get the news as it was coming, just woke up and started reading everything on Twitter and then all the news articles as they kept coming. A lot of things to talk about. I was talking to Alti before we started. It was a lot more. We got a lot more than what we expected. We talked a couple of weeks ago. We're going to get Star Wars movies announced. Is it going to be one movie? Is it going to be three? Is someone going to show up and headline a movie? TV shows, are they still going to keep announcing those? Is it going to be more movie-centric? Are we going to get trailers? Is it going to get streamed? Those potato cameras that we keep joking about what's going to be there. I did see a few, but not too much. Someone else just joined the chat. How you doing, Lauren? Thanks for being here. Lauren, again, I want to thank you. It's been a year since Lawrence was here joining us live from Star Wars Celebration when it was during Anaheim, right? Last year. It was a great time. So, Lauren, thanks for joining us today. But what are they? To me, I don't know for you guys, but maybe it's just because it's the new thing that we just happened today. This might have been my favorite celebration so far, at least the first day, because of so much that was announced. Right now, I'm in cloud nine that if they say, you know what, we're canceling the rest of celebration, we don't need it, I'm fine. We got so many news today, and a lot that was announced was for everyone, right? Most of us love almost everything about Star Wars, so we're going to enjoy a lot of the shows, a lot of the movies that were announced. But if you don't want to follow the sequel trilogy, we got this old Republic back in the dawn of the Jedi 25,000 years ago. We have the Mandoverse and the Filoniverse. We're still going to be going through that and bringing that to conclusion. Then we have the post sequel trilogy, plus the Acolyte and Andor Season 2. So there were so much things announced today that I can't wait to start talking about it. I know we'll give Oti a little bit more time to get here, but yeah. So what a year it's been today, Alan. You're right. It's sometimes if you're a fan of the show, you've been following us for a while. When Andor was coming up, or I think mostly Kenobi, I was complaining here about maybe Lucasfilm is having some issues marketing Star Wars, whether they wait so much, we don't get trailers, all this and that. But I can't complain because today, like Roberto is saying, Lucasfilm did not mess around this year. They dropped a lot of bombs. And that was kind of what we were hoping. And I say expecting, but sometimes that leads to then just being disappointed. But we were hoping that we just got belted with news, especially Star Wars movie news. It's been now basically, 4 years since the last Star Wars movie, all that supposed movies being pushed to the back burner, down on productions, writers, directors attached, then they get fired or whatever, although nothing was actually announced. So this was a big year for them. And at least for myself, they stuck the landing, and I have I'm very sure that everything that got announced today will happen. But one thing I was talking with Audie before we started was, and I'm sure all of you guys have seen on Twitter, because we're like, oh man, we're not a celebration. We really wanted to be there this year, or maybe if it comes to a place a little bit closer, we can maybe jump in. But dude, there he is. He's back. Just like a certain character is back for a new movie soon. Otis back.
I'm literally sitting in my couch the whole day and no one calls me. I sit down here and people call me.
All right. Otis, just real quick, I was gonna
for the you crazy, by the way.
No, don't worry. I've kept up with it. Lauren is here. They're all jumping in. For this Star Wars celebration, it's for myself. kind of raised the bar compared to some other Star Wars celebrations, at least that first day. Did you feel the same, or we just rose-colored glasses because we just saw it?
No, come on. We have to wait and see. I think Last Jedi is still my favorite celebration. That was like the first one I took the week off, the Friday off to watch it. Then I loved that Rise of Skywalker. You know, it was different because we knew we were getting a trailer for the next episode movie, so the hype was immeasurable. But this one, it started out, I'd say, better than last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to you, especially the last Europe one, which was the Rogue One. What I heard from, and I wasn't really on Star Wars Twitter at that point.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of people were saying if you were there, it was a lot of fun. But not a lot of things were announced. Yeah, we got a little,
I think
not trailer, but something for Rogue One, which didn't even end up in the movie.
I think
so. Going back to Europe, they just knocked it out of the park.
I think the biggest announcement that year was Thrawn coming back.
Okay. And he came back. He got to see him today.
London and Thrawn have this thing.
Yeah. So, Otti, we were talking before we started. It was packed. It was shoulder to shoulder. If you're claustrophobic, don't like being in close contact with people, especially with the pandemic and everything, I don't know. I didn't miss not being there when I saw those pictures.
No, and I saw people like Laura Kelly commenting like, "Yeah, this is a bit wild."
Yeah.
Well, I don't like. I don't know how you say that. Multitudes. That's why
It's
I
a lot of
skip
people.
on the Fiestas de San Sebastián here. It's this huge Mardi Gras like party because I don't like a lot of people together. I'm sorry, but yeah. Whatever. I hope you guys are safe and having fun and no one gets sick.
All right, Otti, let's just jump right into it. We've been talking here. Every time we mention celebration, we say, are they going to announce a movie? Is it going to be one movie? Is it going to be three? I said one, and I didn't want three unless you said. But you also said you thought that they were going to announce three. It made sense that maybe they'll announce three.
But I thought it would be three like in a trilogy.
Yeah,
not
me too.
Three different movies.
And last night I was thinking that it's probably going to be three and it's going to be a trilogy. The new trilogy they're going to announce it, but no, it was three different ones. Let's just start with the first one. I don't have no fancy graphic or anything. Rey Skywalker. What?
Oh, you already did it. You already.
No. Let's go. No.
Because there's a big elephant in the room that we have to talk about. Because I've seen the grumpiness and the negativity online.
Okay, let's do it.
What guarantees that any of these movies are getting made? Why are we hyped if they're gonna cancel it in 2 weeks?
I want to jump across the screen and punch everyone in the face.
I have an answer though.
Let's hear your answer and then I'll do mine.
So let's start with the biggest one. None of the movies that have been canceled were announced in the celebration. Right? I think that's number one. And with most of the Star Wars movies, with one exception, they've all been this vague thing. It's the Benioff and Weiss movie. Can you tell me anything about what they were doing?
No.
I don't think. The Rian Johnson trilogy. Still happening, apparently. We don't know what that was. Taika's movie. What was that movie about? We don't know. Rogue Squadron. We kind of knew what that movie was, but when was it happening? Who are we fighting? Who are the characters? We had vague ideas. And if you think about that movie, the Rogue Squadron one, that was the one that was announced in an official event.
Yeah.
But that got tangled up with the whole WB thing. With WB reshuffling, she's doing Wonder Woman 3, then she'll come back and do this. Oh, that's not happening. And I kind of think that movie got pushed because of Wonder Woman. Lucasfilm started thinking, okay, what do we do now? And when Patty Jenkins got freed up, it's like, we're already doing this thing. So maybe later you can come in and do it. So, and also we have concrete information on all of these and reasons to think like this is happening. The Rey one, Daisy Ridley. Like I think she has good stock in Lucasfilm. The Dave Filoni one,
come on,
that they're not gonna cancel that movie. And Mangold has just done Indy 5, so unless that movie flops dramatically, I don't see them being like, nah, sorry. So that's why I'm feeling hopeful and optimistic about these three movies.
Dude, I am 100% certain that these movies are going to happen unless something catastrophic happens.
Yeah.
Everything you said is correct. And I'll add, and we're going to talk about some of those points later on some news items. And we've been talking here for weeks and months. They said that when they announce a movie, it's going to be something that needs to have at least this 5-year plan. In an interview we're going to talk about later that Kathy Kennedy did with IGN, she talks about how long all these three movies have been in production. The first one, no, I'll jump to that in a minute. The Mangold movie, they said they've been talking to James Mangold since he took over Indiana Jones, I don't know how many years ago, that he kept coming with ideas. He had the ideas, and Kathy Kennedy said yes.
And we knew he was going to do Boba Fett.
And he was going to do both, so he's part of the family. Dave Filoni, you said it. Mandoverse, how many times TV shows people will say, oh, we got to end up in a movie. Oh, we know the Mandoverse is coming together. She said in that interview, this has been a 6-year process. It's happening. And then let's jump to the first one because it's the biggest one. Rey Skywalker is back. We called it here. We said it. You asked me last time, will Rey show up? And I said, yes, she'll show up and she'll lead the next movie. There she is. And you said it, you tweeted it out. We talked about it. It was no dinner that she went from London to San Francisco to grab lunch with Kathy Kennedy just because she missed her last year.
You liar.
Dude, where am I? I don't have my notes, but this movie has been in production for a few years, she said in that other interview. So all these movies has been in production for years and years. This is not, oh, what are we going to do? Oh, we lost the writer. What are we going to do? Dude, chill out. Nothing's going to happen to this movie unless something catastrophic happens, which knock on wood doesn't. These movies are the next Star Wars movie we're going to be seeing. And I'll say, right now at this point today at 7:17 in the afternoon, I don't care about the Taika Waititi movie. I don't care about the Feige movie we're going to talk about later. I don't care. Rian Johnson, yes, when you get a chance. I don't care. These three movies is all I care about. It's going to be like the next 7 years. I'm in heaven right now.
I agree. I completely agree. I might be getting ahead of myself because we're going to talk about that interview, but it seems like they're building eras, not trilogies. And it's interesting, them saying like we've been spending years in development, and it tracks with what they've said in interviews. Every time Kathleen Kennedy is asked, oh, we have this big room of writers figuring out what the next 10 to 15 years of storytelling is, and here it is. They have a plan. People who have been asking to the winds ever since Kevin Feige stood up and presented the Marvel slate. When is Star Wars getting that? We got it. It's here. This is it. It's not 10 movies like a Marvel. That's fine. I'm perfectly fine with this.
Yeah. So I said, I don't want, like you said, I don't want a slate for in 2027, we're getting episode 15. I don't care. These are your next three movies. Directors are attached. They have, like she said also, Mangold is a writer, director is going to write that movie. Filoni and Favreau are going to do the other one. And we already have, even though it wasn't mentioned.
Is Favreau writing the other one?
They didn't say, but if he's going to direct the conclusion to Mandoverse, it's going to be Favreau, Filoni, and maybe someone else, but has to be them.
Like if they got a better screenwriter for that one. Like maybe have them write the story, but have a better screenwriter. Because I don't know how the Mandalorian dialogue and scripts will manifest on screen, but that's just me.
When you see Din Djarin in full armor and the Mandalorian thing comes on, you don't give a crap if he says this a bench. You're just gonna be screaming and people are gonna be waving their Beskar spears.
Bo-Katan, I am Din Djarin.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a Mandalorian show. I love that episode. It was very fun. I understand why some people might say, well, the story is just going nowhere. I had a lot of fun. We'll talk about it tomorrow. All right, so 15 years. No, dude, they say Rayleigh showed up. We talked here, we're going to hear the screams all the way from London. Were you actually surprised that she showed up at the end? Because it was almost the last thing we heard from that Star Wars Celebration, Lucasfilm panel.
when they announced the 3 movies and it was confirmed that Charmaine was going to direct the movie post Rise of Skywalker, I was not surprised because I was just like waiting for it. Like, okay, come on, come on, Daisy. You live like a couple hours from here, probably.
Yeah.
And we knew she was going to be there because she's doing photos and everything. So
yeah. I was a bit scared because we gotten so much before then. There's so maybe they're not gonna announce any movies. And since I had to take a break from watching the live, not a stream, watching everyone tweet because I had to drive my kids to school. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe we don't get the movies. And then you DM me, and then you put, dude, movies. I'm like, what was going on? And then I saw, right, there's a Ridley. Like, this is crazy.
I was listening to people who were there. They were saying like the panel ran over the time it was supposed to, so they were at a point they were like, oh, no movies, and even Molly Damon tweeted out no movie news.
I saw that one. I was like, oh man.
And I people there had the same opinion that I had when they brought out all the aliens to show, the production and everything. I was like, oh, this is it. This is not the ending they think it is. Like, it sucks.
We all like aliens, but not this much.
The Ahsoka trailer was cool, but is that it?
All right, so 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, we have Daisy Ridley back as Rey, trying to rebuild the Jedi Order in what they're calling this now the new Jedi Order era. Like you mentioned, come on, it's not that bad. Charmin Obaid-Chinoy is directing. No mention of a writer, no mention of Damon Lindelof, no mention of Steven Knight, which was surprising. But at this point, I don't care. Do you think we're getting Finn and Poe? Do you think they're gonna show
Alberto, I'll answer your question, but I have a question for you that I'm gonna ask you twice more during this episode. Finn and Poe, I'll say yes. I don't think it's how do you say casualidades?
Coincidence?
I don't think it's a coincidence. Oscar Isaac went from I'll only return if I need a new house to if the script is right and Kathy's there and the crew comes, sure, I'll do it. And I think the hard one here is Finn with John Boyega. We know he didn't have the best experience doing the sequel trilogy. He was upset over the role of Finn and his portrayal and what was done with that character, and not only him but Jana and Rose. And I'm gonna get a little bit corporate cynical here, but bringing in a minority woman to direct this makes me think that maybe she could be the one to make a cool Finn story.
Okay.
And maybe that's a driving force for him to be like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna highlight.
I want them all to come back. I want them all. Rose, everyone.
I'm going to highlight a comment from Mo real quick. The first woman directed Star Wars film, it's about that time.
Amen.
Before you ask me your question, I'm going to say this because in a separate, again, the IGN interview, Kathy Kennedy mentioned, because they asked her, is this just 3 standalone movies? And she said, like, yes and no. They're standalone, they're separate. And we'll see where it goes. We'll see where the demand is. So my hope...
I don't hate this approach, by the way. No, I love it, but I don't hate it.
I love it.
Okay.
I hope that this Rey movie, let's just call it a Rey movie now, we do get Finn and Poe as just co-leads or just supporting characters. But then we get a Finn movie around the same time period with him doing his thing, and then a Poe movie with him doing his thing. Which they're separate, but still kind of together a little bit.
Can you imagine the crawl starts? They're gonna have crawls, by the way. Kathy, you better put crawls.
You better put crawls.
The crawl starts. Finn has vanished.
And Poe's back to spice trading. And then what the hell is going on?
Oh my god.
All right, what's your question?
My question. I actually have 2 questions for this movie, but there's a recurring question here.
Okay.
Alberto. Luke Skywalker. Will he be in this movie as a Force Ghost?
I'm gonna go back. Did you watch that IGN interview with Kathy Kennedy or no?
I did not know.
Okay, it's like an 11-minute video. Try to find it later. Great. Almost as good as having her on the celebration stage.
Okay.
She was asked about Luke Skywalker and what how much he would be in the movie. Kathy Kennedy deflected a little bit, but basically said, we don't know how many Force ghosts or Force visions we're going to have compared to a sequel trilogy, but the essence of what Luke Skywalker taught Rey are going to be very present in the movie.
That's such a vague answer.
Yes. So
such a nothing burger.
at this point, I'm going to say no. I don't think we
Okay.
get a...
Okay. That's a
we get Obi-Wan Kenobi one. But I don't think... Yeah, come on.
Ben Solo, Force Ghost.
I don't know if I Force Ghost, but I'm 51% saying that there's Ben Solo is going to be there in some capacity. Either a Force Ghost, they find a way to bring him back.
I'll shoot you.
Why are you going to shoot me?
No bringing him back nonsense.
Okay.
Shoot at me, Norhall and Geeky Waffle Crew. But
Dude.
I think I'm a believer that both Luke and Ben Solo will be there as Force Ghost.
As Force Ghost. And that's fine. I mean, Ben Solo makes sense that even if not a Force or the Daya, just the Daya has a different connection that we've never had in Star Wars before, that they can find a way to bring him, to have Rey have conversations with Ben Solo as a Force Ghost or something different. But I think that I'll say the Reylo fandom is so powerful right now, and a lot of the writers, not just, yeah, but they know that there's a strong call for that, and everyone knows that Ben Solo is a great character, and a lot of people didn't want him to die, even if they didn't believe in Reylo and wanted them together. I think that there has to be, Ben Solo needs to be there in some capacity to really bring back a lot of the people that fell because of the ending to Rise of Skywalker. So I'm gonna say 51% that Ben Solo is there somehow.
Okay. Well, hey, we'll see.
You're gonna ask me for every movie is Ben Solo coming back? That's your recording.
No.
Any Grogu? I saw the people from the Resistance broadcast saying maybe Grogu at this point, he's like 95 years old. Yoda started training Jedi at 100. And
they have to go see they have to go see the ruler of Mandalore, and Grogu sitting on a chair.
So
speak.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a question which I've been thinking about for a while. Do you consider Grogu a Jedi? Because a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, he's gonna be the true Mandalore, a Jedi Mandalorian, this and that." I don't consider Grogu a Jedi.
No, I don't. Okay. I consider him a Mandalorian, honestly.
Sure. All right. So that's why he doesn't make sense at this point for Grogu to be part of rebuilding the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about Jedi. So are you excited about this kind of Rey trying to find out what to do now with the Jedi? There's no Jedi around. It's been 15 years, so I'm glad that they said also the war is done. We don't need to worry about remnants coming back. It's just about this.
She can do her own thing and come back 15 years later. But I was listening to Force Center, and they were talking about what Charmaine mentioned, and she said something like, she's rebuilding the Order, and there are forces out there that do not want her to do that. And I'm very interested by that. Like, who are those people who don't want the Jedi to be out there?
The path of the open hand.
Is it the Republic? Are they like, no more Jedi, please? You've caused enough problems.
Yeah. A lot of the things, and also then with the Acolyte, talk about who's using the Force and this balance of power. Why are the Jedi? So it reminded me a little bit of Path of the Open Hand. But we'll see. Okay, Oti, as we move on to the next movie, what's the chat talking about out there?
I kind of lost track of it, but
it's fine. You don't need to go all the way back.
No, Roberto thinks John Boyega will 100% be there. He also thinks Luke will 100% be there. What are you saying?
I finally watched The Woman King, and he's great in that one.
So. I have not watched that movie, but he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah. See?
Force Ghost Ben. Nah, I'm all for Force Ghost Ben. I'm not all for bringing him through the
War between
worlds, because I don't think that's how that works. But it's fine.
No, me too. I don't want that.
Roberto believes he's alive. Okay, awesome. Blue Butterfly, awesome. Wait. Reylo and Fenful don't. Oh, I like this. Okay, it's actually a rom-com. Grogu will be elementary age at that point. I completely agree. Primary school.
All right.
Somehow the path survived.
I mean, it's there, but
John will be the
yeah.
toughest to convince. I completely agree.
All right. No date for this. We talked that we think this might be 2025. Will be 10 years after The Force Awakens, so it does make sense. Still gives it 2 years if they start now to start filming, and then a whole year for post-production. So
I'm kind of happy they didn't announce dates because
yeah.
That puts they probably have internal dates for when they want this delivered, but gives them more time, I think, to work on the movie and avoid mistakes from the past.
All right, so let's go to the second movie, which I want to say I got a little bit spoiled about the announcement the day before last night.
Yeah, I saw it too.
Yeah, I mean, Snyder went on and said, Dave Filoni is directing a movie, and I said it has to be the conclusion to the Mandoverse, but it got finally announced that Dave Filoni will be bringing together all the Mandoverse series into an epic movie finale, and this is The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. See Boba Fett again on live on the big screen.
That's
Ahsoka,
gonna be awesome.
And I'm guessing Skeleton Crew also because it's in the same time period. It might also Cobb Vanth, having this Cobb Vanth in live action, going nuts. Basically the Imperial Remnants versus the New Republic. Not really a big surprise. It's been said before that they were building to a big conclusion, but it's gonna be in the big screen. Are you excited for this? You said you want better screenwriters. I mean, Thrawn, we'll talk about Thrawn in a few minutes.
I think we have the big bad here.
Yeah, I mean, he better not die in Ahsoka.
That'd be weird. That's a weird story.
That's a weird story.
Listen, even though I asked for better screenwriters, I'm very excited for this, Alberto. I think the Ahsoka trailer is a glimpse because the Ahsoka trailer, if they told me if I heard the news of Filoni and they showed me the Ahsoka trailer, I would think it was a movie trailer because
it was
my goodness,
amazing.
So I think that trailer gives us a glimpse of what's coming, and I think that trailer, I know we'll get to that, but is a sign of things to come.
Sure.
So I'm very excited for this movie. I put this book up there on purpose, The Heir to the Empire, because I kind of think I would even bet money that that's the name of the movie.
Do you think a lot of people have come out after the Ahsoka trailer and they're word by word, she said, Heir to the Empire. Are they basically recanonizing this story with, of course, a little changes from the new canon? Do you think they're just recanonizing that story for kind of the conclusion of this Mandoverse? And also, I haven't read it, so I'll be surprised by anything.
I have not, and I was thinking that there's a gap between Phase 2 and Phase 3 of High Republic, so I'll try to slot it in there because I want to read it before Ahsoka. But going back, I think they'll do like a version of it. Like take elements that work and work. I hope the Yuzan Vong aren't coming because I hate them. But we'll see. Alberto, can I ask you a question?
You're the co-host.
Is Luke Skywalker showing up? It's apparently, the second wave of the war. The Empire is back. We're seeing lightsabers from red colors out there.
I'm trying to...
And it's the New Republic fighting. Like, it's not this small thing in the Outer Rim. Is Luke Skywalker? Is Han Solo? Is Leia?
Oh, I'm going to say no to those last two.
Okay.
I was going to say no to Luke Skywalker, and then I was trying to, where does this fit with timelines? And then, crap, it was there in Book of Boba Fett. I think they put so much in this deepfake technology, especially with Luke Skywalker now in 2 big series. I think he might show up, and it might just be kind of it pushes the tide toward the New Republic winning, like out of nowhere.
Ahsoka
and builds the legend of Luke Skywalker that we hear Rey talking about. Maybe this is part of it.
It would be for me, it would be very weird to have this big galactic event, which this is shaping up to be, and Luke Skywalker being like, "No, I'm going to school.
I'm good." Yeah. Do we get a baby Ben Solo? Is he around at this point?
Let's say he's a baby.
Yeah. Is the birth of Ben Solo?
Alberto, is Leia with Luke at this point?
Training? Very possibly, right? Because
I have no idea.
I mean, she should be, right? Because if Ben Solo is about to be born, that's when she stops training. But I don't, unless they do the same thing they did with Rise of Skywalker, I don't. And again, it's all to Billy Lord and her family, but I don't really want to see a deep fake Carrie Fisher.
I'll agree with you. I don't think Han and Leia are showing up. I don't think Lucasfilm has the confidence in Eldon Ehrenreich. I don't agree with that, but I don't think they have that confidence. And I really don't want another CGI Leia. What they did in Rise of Skywalker didn't really work for me. Mm-hmm. And even though I praise them for what they did,
they were painted to a corner at that point. Yeah.
So, but it didn't work for me. So I'm fine if no Leia. Oh, she's out there passing some laws.
But they could bring, which I don't want, but we see now D.H. Harrison Ford in the Indiana Jones trailer. They could bring him back. A lot of people were waiting for that Han Solo and Luke Skywalker reunion. They could do it possibly here. He doesn't fit with this story at the moment. And I really don't want him. But
why would Han come in and not Leia?
Leia's going to meet Mon Mothma. We saw freaking Mon Mothma in the Ahsoka trailer. Was she still around? And I love that they went with Genevieve O'Reilly and then didn't go back to the. Anyway, I got nothing else for the Filoni movie. After this Ahsoka trailer, I'm really excited. Do you think this means, and we don't know when this is coming out, like Lauren put out there, maybe this is the next movie that comes out in 2025? Very possibly. Are we coming to the end of The Mandalorian? Maybe season 4 is the last season of The Mandalorian, and then Book of Boba Fett just one season, Ahsoka is just one season, Skeleton Crew one season, and then we just jump into this movie to finish it off? Or do you think we're getting season 5?
I'm going to say no. I don't think so. I don't think this is the 2025 movie. Because then if the 2025 movie is happening, and I don't think so, they would already have something like casting, and we don't have anything on it. As far as we know, maybe
we've met them already.
Maybe in a month they'll be like, Dave Filoni's movie coming out in 2024, and this is the crew, and this is the cast, and here you go. But
this movie, I'll say,
it's the same people for the show. I get it, but still,
I mean, in terms of being availability, we know. Look at Pedro Pascal. How even if he just does the voice, how busy he is, and he's probably filming Last of Us right now. It's going to be hard to get all these people together for one movie. But very excited.
I mean, then again, it's a movie they're getting paid for, so they'll make the time for
it. Make the time. Maybe again with the volume and everything, they maybe are shooting everything out of order.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, man. I really hope we lay off on the volume for the new movies. I know. I know it's the new technology and we like it, but Star Wars is so big in the theaters, and the volume makes it seem a little bit small. And I hope they throw a bunch of money behind these movies because, and I've mentioned it, the Mandalorian budget has notably gone up, but it still feels like a TV show. I want this to feel like a movie.
I'll say if they announce this like this is coming very soon, then it'll be volume, and then we'll see if those issues happen. But if it's late 2025, maybe 2026, then hopefully it's more on location shooting. They'll use the volume, of course, over green screen. Sure. But we'll see. All right, before we jump to the third movie announcement, what's the chat saying?
Oh my God, I again lost track of this.
We can go to them at the end.
Okay, so Lauren thinks Mando movie will be 2025. We'll see.
Could be.
Thrawn, big movie bad. I completely agree. Lauren thinks it's Filoni, Rey, Mangold. That kind of makes sense. I'm enthralled by what the first. Oh, we'll get to that soon. they dropped some coin on this show. Surprised how great it looked. I don't know what we were talking about at that point. If they do make Heir to the Empire, they gotta have I hope they don't.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest.
Luke.
I'll say for most comment about Timothy Zahn, I'm not the biggest fan of his style of writing, but his whole concept is very interesting. So maybe he comes out with the story treatment of a story idea. Just don't write it.
I have to apologize for my grumpiness. I hope he's involved because I agree. I like how he portrays Zahn. I like it better how he portrays Zahn rather than how Filoni does. Because with Filoni, he's just a villain. And with Zahn, he has a little bit more layers to him.
It's just funny because someone posted on Twitter a while back, do you think that it will be the era, if it's going to feel like Timothy Zahn's Thrawn? I said, I hope they keep it like Rebels, just to keep it consistent with the character that we've met in canon so far.
I mean,
but the books are different.
I hope he's the bad guy, but I do love how Zahn puts more layers to him. With Filoni, he's just like a bad dude.
Will Eli Vanto show up?
Oh my god, I hope so.
Yes.
Will Aralani show up?
Yes, give me freaking Aralani. Cheery, she can stay out. But give me Aralani.
Pass out in the theater if Aralani shows up.
That would be freaking sweet.
Mithrani.
All right, the third movie, and this was a big surprise right next to Daisy Ridley. James Mangold finally coming back to Star Wars, Dawn of the Jedi. You like that the High Republic? That's cool. You want Old Republic? No. Dawn of the Jedi, 25,000 years. Biblical
25,000 years.
25, dude. Biblical story. Going back to talk about the first Jedi, the birth of the Force, where did it come from, who found it? Love. I don't go on Twitter and say I'm gonna make this my whole personality. I might make this movie my whole personality. You know how much I love my Force lore when all the different views of the living Force come around. This might be it for me. Completely surprised that this showed up, but I'm so excited to see what Mangold does with this. And again, they've been in talks with about this movie since James Mangold took over Steven Spielberg for Indiana Jones 5, which looks great. That trailer looked great. So again, this has been in talks and in pre-production, at least kind of thinking about it for years now. So very excited for this.
I'm very excited for this. I love James Mangold. 3:10 to Yuma. It's a phenomenal movie. Mm-hmm. Logan, of course, is a phenomenal movie. So I love what I'm seeing with Indy. So we'll see. It's funny because we had a Dawn of the Jedi book that I think was the last Legends book. I think that book came out after the acquisition. So interesting that they're going there, and I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic because if it's the beginning, I don't expect them to have lightsabers. It's gonna be something very different, but I'm excited to see what this is. And I wanted to mention this is not the Old Republic because I've seen a lot of people being like, Old Republic movie confirmed. No. This is before that, a long time before that, apparently. But I did love that they left the Old Republic logo there, basically saying like, we know you want this, it's there.
Just wait. That. And I love that the logo for the Dawn of the Jedi is the Prime Jedi from The Last Jedi and from Acto.
You brought me to my point, Alberto. This movie is using Last Jedi iconography. The Filoni movie is leading to the sequel trilogy. The Charmaine movie is after the sequel trilogy. Weren't they gonna retcon this? Weren't they gonna make a new one?
Dude, just wait for next Celebration where they say, psych, we fooled you. We're not doing anything. Kathy Kennedy just got fired.
Again, and he's making...
I don't know why someone put... I'm going to just name it. I don't name people here, but freaking Star Wars Theory. Dude, you and your millions of followers, I don't give a crap. It came into my feed. Him complaining last night, about how Lucasfilm didn't create, or Disney didn't create Star Wars, and they're not following what George Lucas said, and they just bought the rights. They had to do what George Lucas streaming for the sequel trilogy. Blah, the next movie is gonna. Dude, just shut the hell up. I don't care what you have to say. Just let me love this.
I love that whole sob story as if he was robbed of something.
Yes.
I wish someone would rob me and leave me $4 billion.
Yeah. Dude,
for it.
when George Lucas said, you know what? I'm done. He saw George Lucas is a visionary even for Star Wars hate on Twitter because he said, I'm not going through this again. I got to raise my daughter. Give me $4 billion and I'll do this. Like all the memes. It's like, shut up. Yeah, he had treatment. He didn't want to go through this, which makes sense. And I'm sure if he comes back and tells Kathy Kennedy, hey, I have an idea, maybe I want to write something, I want to do this, she'll say, yes, come on. Of course, she's not going to say no. He's not going to go through this again.
And they always like to forget that Kathleen Kennedy was handpicked by George Lucas. That's like his last decision before selling the company.
Yeah. But I love all the tweets today about people saying, all the
I will not say this more, but I agree.
Dude, but the Star Wars live show today just went off, just cursing. And Rick Famuyiwa was about to curse. And he said, oh, I can't. Wait, this is live stream. I go, yeah, go on. She said, it's like everyone just went off.
The F-bombs, the amounts of shit that was said. Oh, my God.
I love in the Andor panel because Kathy Kennedy was there. And it was between Diego Luna and Tony Gilroy. And Kathy Kennedy in the middle between both of them, just going off. It was great.
Can we talk about Kathleen Kennedy's vibe in that panel? Just sitting back with her sneakers. Like, oh, my
everyone loved her. Her vibe was, oh, man, I want to be her when I grow up. I sometimes do the sneakers with the very low socks to try to show them off, and I'm at a point that I know my age. I know I'm getting to that point where I can't pull stuff like that off. She's older than me, and she's still pulling this off. It's like, man, when you're the head of Lucasfilm,
she's a millionaire. So
I don't have that drip on me. No. But yeah, I love that everything is leading to the sequel trilogy, and everyone she's been fired 27 times, and the sequel trilogy just got retcon. Dave Filoni is doing this and that. Dude, just give it up. Give it up.
It's like they behave like a political party.
Yeah.
And waiting for something to happen. Oh, it's all part of the plan. It really isn't. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So for this movie, this James Mangold, the beginning of the Jedi, the beginning of the Force, who found it, who used it, using biblical terms, Ben-Hur, and all these great epic movies, can this be something kind of Angel and the Demon that two Force users find, quote unquote, the Force, and they have a fallout
kind of thing?
Yeah, one goes to the dark side, and one goes to the light side. That would be awesome to see that. Again, maybe no lightsabers like we know them, but having that duality. Again, you just mentioned all the great James Mangold movies. It's in good hands. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, no. Just, again, watch 310 to Yuma. Great Western.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to ask me if Luke Skywalker was going to show up, and I was going to say
no, not here. I already. I have one Luke Skywalker question left.
Okay,
but not now.
Later. You know what I'm going to ask? What's the chat saying before we move on?
Oh my God. Can we get Christian Bale in a Star Wars with Mangold? I would love him to be in it. We'll talk about this, but tomorrow when we talk Mandalorian. But I'm very picky with which actors show up in Star Wars. So I'm hoping if he shows up, it's a minor role that will not be recurring. I think you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Or an alien or a robot thing.
All right. We'll talk tomorrow about cameos. And I have one. The cameo from Wednesday's Mandalorian compared to other actor that is also very into the nerd fandom. When he shows up, I'm very thrown off compared to the cameo on Wednesday. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Ronin book. I like this. I think it would be interesting if they took elements from that and brought it into the movie. Mm-hmm. It's totally my jam. Force lore. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm very interested in it. I'm a little bit worried because of the iconography and lightsabers and everything, but I am excited. And yes, the Prime Jedi Yin Yang. Yes,
it's really freaking cool. Yeah. All right, so from Star Wars movies, we jump to the only trailer
we just talked about 3 new Star Wars movies with concrete information of what they are.
Yeah.
So excited.
This morning, I was losing it this morning because we talked about it last week. In 1 week, we're going to be talking about Star Wars movie.
Here we are.
Three very different movies. Oh, man. Star Wars is dead, Oti. I don't know what we're doing, but Star Wars died in 2020.
I want to be as dead as Star Wars.
Yeah. All right, but let's go, dude. The Ahsoka trailer dropped, and it was awesome. I've said here, dude, I'm not really that hyped for Ahsoka and kind of over the character. Probably when the show comes up, I'll like it. As soon as I saw this trailer, I just tweeted out, this might be my most excited that I've been for a Star Wars show in a long time, because this, like you said, this looks like a movie. We have there some Force user doing his best Darth Vader impression. We got a Inquisitor with a mask, which I love seeing.
I
the
have
mask
a theory on that.
We'll get to it. And of course, David Tennant's back at Young. And look at her. She just looks great. She's so freaking awesome. I know there's issues with the actress, but dude, the Ahsoka trailer blew me away. So much stuff that we saw. First, August 2023. So this is coming in a few months. Sabine, we saw her there. Hera confirmed, played by Mary Elizabeth Winston. We saw Chopper. Ezra, we saw a little hologram, still wearing the same clothes he had 25 years ago. The back of Thrawn said that people are doing zoom in and all this stuff. Brian Ward doing the CSI for the ears. Yeah. What else? 2 dark side users. One of them is an Inquisitor. I don't know the other one. Orange lightsabers. People are going crazy. What's going on?
Okay. Question for you. Is Lars Mikkelsen coming for the role of Thrawn? I think we'll get the answer tomorrow, honestly. But Lauren asked a couple comments ago.
Okay. Yes. Come on.
I think it's him. I think it's him.
A lot of times I say, I know people want the voice actors to play the characters in live action. It doesn't always work. I understand the love that people have for Ashley Eckstein. She doesn't fit a live action Ahsoka. Lars Mikkelsen, he fits a live action Thrawn. So it makes sense for him to come back to play the character. So I'm going to say yes, it's going to be him, especially because we only saw the back, kind of teasing that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be him. Some people say, who's the James Bond? Maybe
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hey, if it's him, good. But no, I think it's Lars. Alberto,
and it's not Ray Stevenson that some people thought it might be him when he got cast. We saw him as a great that white beard.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Alberto, and second question. Luke Skywalker. Is he showing up in the Ahsoka?
I hope not.
We know Anakin's showing up. But...
oh man. I'll say I've said it 20 times. I'll be the only one not screaming when he says, "Hey Snips," and she calls him Sky Guy. I'm gonna hate it.
I'm gonna start crying like a baby.
Yeah.
You're an old man. Okay.
I am. I've never liked it. I'm gonna say no. No Luke Skywalker in this one. Save it for the movie.
I'll agree. Okay. Maybe an after credit.
Ooh. Talking to Anakin.
I need your help. Alberto, okay, this trailer, I was so overwhelmed. I have never been this overwhelmed, and I'm not kidding.
It was a lot,
because with the movie trailers, I always feel overwhelmed, but it's what I thought. It's an epic Star Wars story, and this is an epic Star Wars story, and I was not expecting this to be it. Yeah. Alberto, I wasn't even expecting this to be like. I don't even know what I was expecting here.
And it wasn't what I was expecting.
We got the New Republic with Mon Mothma in all her glory.
Yeah.
We have, as you mentioned, evil dudes with red, orange lightsabers. Is that Darth Bane? Because they're fighting in a place that looks like the world between worlds.
I gotta see that again. I didn't notice that.
Check out when they're fighting, when she's fighting Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the background.
Okay, I know there's some columns and stuff. I didn't notice.
No, look at the background. There's symbols floating around. I don't know if that's the world between worlds, but it kind of looked like something like that. Dog fighting. This looked like a movie.
Yeah.
Sabine, Hera, the Phantom.
Dude,
Come on.
it was because again, okay, Ahsoka, they're looking for Ezra. We know that Sabine is gonna be there. Yes, Thrawn. This wasn't it. This was very forced, light side, dark side centric. Yes, we had the New Republic. Again, great surprise having Mon Mothma there. And Cassio Ono's dad from Star Wars Resistance is one of them,
Yeah.
which tip of the hat to everyone that found that out and posted it, because I didn't know. He doesn't look like the character from Rebels. I mean, from Resistance. But all that was a surprise. But all that Force stuff, she's at this temple, this Jedi temple, where she does her special trick of just using lightsabers to cut the perfect circle. And then an Inquisitor, this woman Inquisitor that someone pointed out as a Jedi braid, Padawan braid, when she's without helmet, just coming out of like an elevator or something. And I love that we finally got an Inquisitor with a helmet, which we haven't seen that in live action. Do you think it is someone else? Is this second sister, seventh sister?
I don't think they're the same person. I don't think the person she's fighting that has the Inquisitor blade is the girl that we see dog fighting and walking into. I don't think it's the same person. Tony gave me a theory that connects with my theory of what's going on.
Okay.
He asked me, what if that's Ezra? What if he's been corrupted or something? And here's my theory, because my biggest question here is, what is Thrawn doing?
Yeah.
We know he joined the Empire because he saw it as an opportunity for the Chiss. The Empire ended. What is he doing here? And I kind of think that, and I talked, again, in my podcast, I talked about this with Tony. I kind of think he's saying, Palpatine lost. The Empire didn't lose. And I'm the heir to the Empire. I can make this work again and rebuild it. And maybe when he was off with Ezra, he found this wild group of Sith-ish people.
Acolytes of the Beyond.
Acolytes of the Beyond, whatever. Because she kind of gave me a Kaiser vibe.
Yeah.
And what if they were like, we'll help you, but you have a Jedi over there.
Yeah.
Give it to me for a minute. I want to teach him something.
It will be wild.
What do you think, Alberto?
It will be wild if it's Ezra under that helmet. It won't surprise me if Ezra is somehow different from last we saw him in terms of his mentality, maybe he's been corrupt or something. But being an Inquisitor is something very Sidious, Vader kind of project that I don't see it kind of continuing without them. So I don't know where this Inquisitor came from. So I don't know how Thrawn might have been able to turn Ezra to be an Inquisitor, found someone to do that. So I find that a little bit weird, but it connects with Rebels, with all the Inquisitors we got there. So it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it would surprise me, but I wouldn't put it high in my probability. So that's Ezra underneath. But it'll be a freaking shock if it is.
Something has to have happened because they left together, and Thrawn seems his normal self.
He's chill.
So what's happening with Ezra? Where is he?
Yeah, the Purgle said, "Just get off me, man. I don't want you hanging around."
Into space.
Yeah. But like you say, just looks like a movie. Great action, great setup. All the ships look great. The CGI, the animation looks awesome. Is that Darth Bane? I don't know. I have no idea who that character is. It's not a... And then that he's going through the hallway, very similar to Darth Vader in Rogue One. Just same thing, going against New Republic forces instead of Rebel forces. I don't know what to think about this guy. Is that an orange lightsaber? Is it red and people are just freaking out? Is it a fake kyber crystal from Master and Apprentice? I don't know. At the end of the day,
lightsaber looks ancient. Like it looks like even rocks.
I'm gonna have to spend more time going frame by frame looking at that. But like I said, I wasn't excited for the Ahsoka series because I'm kind of meh on Ahsoka. But this trailer just sold me completely on it. And I said it before, I'm kind of down also on Filoni and some of his storytelling. But what I saw here, at least in terms of visuals, hey, I'm down for it. We'll see where it goes. But right now, I'm really excited for this. And it's in August. What? I don't want to count now. It's like, what, 5 months from now?
It's not much left to wait.
Yeah. All right, Oti. What's the chat saying out there about the Ahsoka trailer? I know people love Ahsoka.
They calm down. they calm down a little bit. Let's see. Okay. So Lauren thinks that the only reason Luke shows up in Ahsoka is because because she wants the campfire scene of Luke and Ahsoka. I don't want that. I've said it before. I think that's too big a moment for us to see. I told Tony, what if they meet at the end of an episode and at the beginning of the next episode it's been like 2 weeks and they're best friends already or something, and we don't get to see that first interaction. But hey, if they do it, they do it. A lot of we got Genevieve Love by Mo, of course. Okay, the background. Yes, this is what I was talking to you about. The background, there's like some floating rings, and it looks like the world between worlds. Siono and Resistance Love.
All right. All right. Let's take a little break for all those big, exciting not news, but visuals that we saw. Let's talk a little bit about Skeleton Crew.
Ooh.
Because this came out, I didn't get a chance to watch the potato camera because when I finally got it, it had been taken down.
I never found one, so
okay. But Jude Law was there. We found out that he's playing a Jedi in hiding. Another one.
He's a Jedi in hiding?
Yeah, it got confirmed. He's playing a Jedi that's in hiding. I don't know how he finds the case.
I thought they confirmed he was a Force user, not a Jedi.
Okay, let's say Force user in hiding. We'll leave it at that. I think they said Jedi, maybe Force user.
Why is he in hiding though?
Because it depends when this series starts. Maybe he's like
starts 50 years after. I don't know.
It's not 50 years. This is
I was doing the whole Pharaoh thing. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, by the time this gets in, the kids from the cast are gonna grow like 10 years in the first season. But the kids were there. They said, we heard before, has a Goonies feel, kind of the Amblin feel. There's pirates involved. Star Wars Explained said that they think they saw Vane from The Mandalorian.
I saw a lot of people mentioning this.
I told you, Vane survived for a reason. And then, again, a footage was shown. I don't know what, apart from the pirates. But the big thing, all the directors got confirmed. John Watts. It's not just the executive producer and came up, and the showrunner he's directed a few episodes. We all know him from the Spider-Man series. David Lowry from Pete's Dragon.
That's my favorite one.
Okay. Also Peter Pan and Wendy, the Daniels that we mentioned before, Jake Schreier from Minx, Bryce Dallas Howard, of course, coming back, and Lee Isaac Chung from Minari. So this is a high list, top tier list of directors. So surprised at this show, which is, and Kathleen Kennedy again said in that IGN interview, it's for kids, quote unquote, but also for adults. Like adults, it's like those Amblin movies. It's for kids, but everyone can enjoy them.
Yeah, she said something like it's about kids, but not necessarily for kids.
Yeah.
But we have From a Certain Point excuse, just saying hi.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
It was an avalanche of news today.
Yep, that was. Lauren says Jude Law is a Jedi. I know you didn't ask for the chat, but I'm
we'll go into it. We're going over. We still get a couple of things to talk about.
If we get Pirates and Skeleton Crew, Honda Watch intensifies, and I agree. The Daniels, yes, I'm excited for that. But dude, I'm excited for David Lowery because he did the Green Knight, which I think has a very Star Wars story to it. So I want to see what he does here.
I watched the Green Knight because of all the hype around it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it as much as people did. There's a lot of great visuals in it, and the story is very good. I think just the hype, when I finally saw it, I was like, it's okay, but I didn't get to that point.
I love it. I love that movie.
Right. I mean, Skeleton Crew was, I don't want to say an afterthought, but it got drowned because of all the other.
It did, but I really liked what we saw and what I heard from the footage and from the.
I think announcing the directors was a great idea. So you got people talking about all the big talent behind it.
Talent.
Yeah. Which, again, IGN interview. She talks about John Watts knows all these people in Hollywood, and he just brought them together. It's like, hey, that's great. Awesome. If you have the connections, let's do it.
Yeah. And I love the pictures that we saw. There's one of the kids that apparently is playing an alien because he's wearing the mocap suit. And imagine if Hondo appears in the Daniels episode. That would be cool, Mo.
Yeah.
But I love seeing Jude Law with the kids. It gave me that Hopper and the kids feel
Oh,
from
of
Stranger
course,
Things.
Stranger Things, yeah.
So I'm dying to see. I'm a sucker for that kind of story. So we'll see.
All right, so we'll see how and that's another story again. Even though it's this Mandoverse, John Watts came up with the story. So Filoni, of course, and Farrell will be as producers, but it's from a different group of storytellers.
Did you see how that came about? He was talking that Favreau was like, "Oh, do you want to come in and direct a Mandalorian episode?" He was
He's
like,
no.
"I have another idea."
Yeah, man, just to be in that position to be able to say that, and then you know what? Yeah, you got a shot.
I've kept you on my Spider-Man movies. You do me this favor.
Yeah. All right, but another thing that got a lot of coverage today was the Acolyte, which I've been waiting so long for this show. Dude, they came out like in 3 different batches, all the casting to talk about it afterwards in the Star Wars live show. They just kept coming and coming. Let's just go into it. Frozen meets Kill Bill.
I saw the trailer, by the way. I sent it to you. I don't know if you got the chance to see it.
I saw parts of it, I think like 50 seconds, and then it cuts abruptly. I don't know if that's the whole thing.
No,
it ends kind of
to it.
Okay, so I found 2 on YouTube because I think the one you sent me just got taken off or removed from. So, but yeah, the things I saw look great, and
awesome.
It's the High Republic, so Jedi are abundant. Like we mentioned, Frozen meets Kill Bill. Love that this is from the point of view of the villains or the antagonists, and that they're in the minority now because there's so much Jedi that they're just getting overwhelmed. So just this Kill Bill Frozen vibe.
Kill Bill is my favorite Tarantino movie. So when I heard that, I was like, every time freaking Leslie Headland opens her mouth, I'm like, give me this show right now, please. Mm-hmm. And I'm not the biggest Frozen fan, but I think that's a very Star Wars story. Coming of age, finding powers, redemption, yada yada. So I get it. I love this. I love the footage I saw. The fight sequences look awesome.
Carrie-Anne Moss looked great in that fight sequence.
It felt like Trinity in Matrix, and I'm here for that. The Force had this crouching tiger, hidden dragon feel to it. It's the 1999 all over again.
This is a show that might be like Andor. Andor tipped the scales on what Star Wars TV could look like. I think Acolyte might do the same, but for the Force, which is my vibe. And like you said, and again, it's High Republic. And I'll give you credit. You said this has nothing probably to do with the books or the High Republic era. I said, dude, it has to. And I think they say like 100 years after the books. Yeah. So closer to Phantom Menace. All new characters. And just real quick, Lee Jung-jae plays a Jedi Master. Daphne Keane wields a lightsaber. I'm not sure they said I think she says she's not a Jedi. Carrie-Anne Moss as a Jedi, we saw her kicking butt, and then Jonas Soromo is back as a Wookiee Jedi named Kel Naka.
Oh, okay, Kel Naka.
It's a spiritual war, has a samurai feel, masters and Padawan, and talking about the Force, this is about power and who wields it. Which at this point, the Jedi are wielding all of it. So it's like,
if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the last line in the trailer.
Okay.
I'm very excited for this. I was thinking, could you imagine if after phase 3 and we find out what happens to Buryaga, they're like, okay, he's actually Buryaga.
They'll just change the name.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than I'm very excited for this.
I'm so excited also, and similar to Andor, that everyone was so excited to me in that movie. Every single cast member they talked to today is so excited to be in Star Wars and they're such Star Wars fans to be in this world and get their costumes. And Daphne Keane has horns that she mentioned.
She's an alien. She's an alien. I mentioned this when we did the preview for Celebration, but pay attention to the celebration stage because, as we
Yeah.
mentioned, all the cast members
Mhm.
came out to the celebration stage and talked about the Acolyte. So
Yeah.
we didn't get them in the Lucasfilm showcase, but you got the same questions here. So
Yeah, I think we got more information because they just kept coming. I was
it
waiting
was
for
like
Rey
an
to.
hour of them coming in and
Yeah,
out.
I thought Rey. I was waiting for Daisy Ridley to come into
Yeah,
the. Oh, shit.
maybe she'll come out later in the weekend because she's gonna be there. So
Yeah, but
and
the
Kathleen
Acolyte.
Kennedy usually comes out also and
Mhm.
answers some questions.
I'm so excited for this show. Frozen. I like Kill Bill. I only watched both of them maybe once. So I really don't remember the whole thing. About the Bride, of course, we know that, and Frozen. With having kids, I've seen both Frozen's plenty of time, and there's a third one coming.
Oh,
But everything I've heard about the Acolyte, I just gets me pumped. You know, our love here for the High Republic is just immense. So this story, even if it's after everything that we know, and we don't know how Phase 3 is going to end. We don't know if there's going to be a time jump from when we left in Phase 1. But it seems that we're going to be closer to the Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
do you think we can get Darth Plagueis in this? Or maybe he's master with Darth Tenebrous, but I think Plagueis makes a bit of sense.
I've always thought Tenebrous could play a role here. I've always thought about this, and we'll see. I think it's like 100 years before Phantom Menace.
I mean, that's what they said when this was announced a while back, but that's probably kind of an overview. But you can get Tenebrous here, and then maybe Plagueis just being a Padawan or something.
Yeah,
not a Padawan, an apprentice from the dark side.
I did want to mention because, again, Leslie Headland, every time she opens her mouth, Leslie Headland was talking about how this era provided an opportunity because you can't tell this massive world-ending stakes, galaxy-ending stakes story.
Yeah.
But that gives room to tell more personal stories about power, about relationships, and that got me even more excited because, again, it's someone who understands Star Wars and telling the story about these characters. And even though it's about, Leslie also mentioned this, even though it's about Darksiders, the Jedi are plentiful in the show. And we even get a shot of all of them lifting their lightsabers, kind of like at the end of the Starlight thing. Leslie Headland entered the panel saying "For light and life."
For light and life,
freaking awesome.
So this 2024, it's gonna be a big year. I mean, all these years are big for Star Wars. All right, we have two more things to talk about before we start saying goodbye. But you know what? What's the chat? How's the chat going? It seems lively right now.
Give me a second. The cast and the fact that people are describing it like Hidden Dragon has me hyped. Yes, for it to be hyped. Okay, they believed from a certain point of view, 100 years before Phantom Menace. So yes, like 150 after Light of the Jedi. It's 100 years after the book, so 150 before Phantom Menace, more or less that time.
Yeah.
Amanda as Padme. Oh,
they would look great when she cosplay.
Awesome. Could we see Yoda and Yaddle in the Acolyte? I'm gonna say yes.
Although they said brand new characters, at least Yoda makes 100% sense.
Yeah, just have him be there for a second and
and Yaddle's around. I'm trying to see if Cataclysm brings me around on Yaddle. So far, I'm liking her. So.
Oh, she's in Cataclysm.
Oh, apparently she plays a big part in Cataclysm.
Oh,
so
awesome! And hey, have Bryce Dallas Howard voice her. She's already
there. We go. Yeah.
Manny Jacinto talking about backflips and stunts. Yes, and he was very Jason Mendoza throughout the whole thing. If you guys have watched The Good Place, you know what I'm talking about. I love him. I loved seeing him talk about Star Wars. He was just like over the moon.
Yeah, and apparently he does a lot of action in this movie. So
yeah, they were talking
this
about
series.
That. Yeah, in the interviews. The Acolyte's gonna be so good. When Leslie came out on stage, for Light and Life, she gets it. And yeah.
All right.
That's about it.
All right. So I've been I don't want to say teasing it because I mentioned a lot of it, but there was an interview that came out a little bit after Celebration ended, or at least the big panels ended, with Kathleen Kennedy and IGN. There's a video on YouTube. It's 11 minutes long, so you can watch it when you get a chance after this. But it gave so much more information from everything that we saw today, plus a lot of other things we talked about. And she squashed a lot of things. And I'm just going to start. She was asked, oh, all these movies that have been shelved. And she's like, no, and not like this, because she's a professional. She's like, well, actually, I know a lot of these things are said in the press and in fandom out there. None of these movies have been shelved because all those were never announced. So
Exactly.
Kevin Feige's movie, we never talked about that. I love him. He loves Star Wars. We never sat down to talk about a movie. If he has an idea, we'll sit down and we'll talk about it. But that never happened. All the other things that you mentioned haven't happened. Oh, but what about Rogue Squadron? Yeah, we're still talking about Rogue Squadron.
So development.
And she talked about production is a hell of a process. She talked about scheduling conflicts and all that. And then Rogue Squadron, she said, we're still talking. It might be a movie. It might be a TV show. We'll see what works. And hey, and Donald Glover talked about Lando. Yeah, we're still talking about Lando. That's still in production. But she mentioned fandom and news out there. Like, don't believe what people say because listen to me. And I love it.
Did it.
Yeah.
Because no, and that's true. And even when those movies get shelved, it's never from their mouths that we're hearing it. It's like again, I don't know what I was going to say. Sorry, but she has a point. Like we constantly get like I remember they announced someone who was going to make a Star Wars movie that it was never announced by Lucasfilm, and this happens a lot. And again, even the whole thing that they were shelving Rogue Squadron, that was in the trades. They never said anything.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's a lot of movies spend a lot of time in development hell. That's like a real thing. And we also have to take into account that Disney wants some leadership changes.
Yeah.
The fact that Bob Chapek left and Bob Iger came back, that has a ripple effect, especially because Bob Iger is very, very much he's very much a part of the movie making process. Bob Chapek apparently was more in the park side and whatnot, but Bob Iger has more of a producer role, and he likes to be informed on what's happening and calling the shots. We know this because it's affected Star Wars before.
It was his idea to put Solo in May. I know they blame Kathy Kennedy. He took the blame. He came out and said that was my fault.
That was me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that had an effect, and I think maybe they had all these projects, and when Bob Iger came back, he was like, no, let's have a more concrete thing. Mm-hmm. Let's have more of a Marvel thing going on. I don't know. But yeah. No, I'm glad she said it because it needs to be said, because sometimes a news article will be like, this movie's happening, and then 10 months later, it's no longer happening. Everyone's like, Kathleen Kennedy. It's like, we never announced anything.
Yeah, it's like what movie I saw last weekend that they said, and we just replaced the writer. I think it was a Marvel movie or something, and people were nobody cared about it.
Oh yeah, I can't remember which one it was.
But it was a great interview. Again, she talks about all the different movies that were announced today. That's where she said how long each movie has been in production, in talks with those directors, and why they decided to go that route. So if you guys out there haven't checked it out, just go on YouTube, Kathleen Kennedy IGN interview, and you'll find it. It was a great 11 minutes.
I'll check it out for sure.
All right, so Mo, if you're still out there, we made it. Andor season 2. Yes. We got some updates. Comes out in August 2024. We're at a time that is getting difficult for the rebellion to work together now that it's growing, it's building, and everyone has different ideas, as we know, because of Rebels and where we find all of them in Rogue One. The Empire is getting closer to them. And also, they mentioned the energy program that the Empire is working on, wink, wink, is also almost complete. So some great updates for Andor Season 2.
I sent you the potato footage. Didn't really look that good. I can't even remember what we saw there, but let's fucking go. I agree. Lucasfilm Group. That's what that means. LFG.
Yeah.
But I love seeing the cast talking. And I love when they came out in the celebration stage and seeing Denise Gao talking about.
Yeah.
I love when she talked about that scene with Cyril, and that was, I think, the first scene they recorded, and she wasn't happy that he saves Deidre, and they had to do it again because she wanted to portray it in a certain way, and that's exactly how it came out in the show.
Yeah.
Seeing Adi Arjona on stage, Puerto Rican power.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But thankfully, we also got the Andor panel that we did get to see. And again, just seeing them talk about it all, I'm very excited to what season 2 is gonna be, because it's a year in between each arc, so we're gonna get different versions of these characters.
Yeah, and I love, because the Andor season 1 panel. We'll get a little bit of tidbits here, but nothing really is gonna come out of it. Just listening to Tony Gilroy talk about Andor and the way the show came about, all the different ideas about it, how he sat down with Bo, what's in the Bo, whatever, one of the writers, and with all the producers to had a 5-day workshop basically to decide in Alkina prison, because if we're gonna do a prison scene, it's gotta be the best prison scene ever. It has to be the worst prison out there. They started coming up with the electrifying floors and all that.
Oh my god, I can't even talk. The humanizing, the
humanizing
the inmates.
Yeah, and Diego Luna saying this is a prison, not like all the other prisons we see where people are just malnourished or get into fights. They have to keep you healthy. They give you food specifically for you and all this stuff because you need to work. And also talking about Ferrix and Ferrix being a character and how you see what Ferrix is going through, the same thing that Andor is going through, and it just comes to a head at the end. So, dude, this is why you bring a person like him for this show. I just love that panel.
A lot of talk about the whole building the Death Star thing and how Andor's building the thing that's gonna kill him. A lot of talk about that in the different interviews.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Tristan Baber, I think, asked a question like Andor's building the thing that will ultimately kill him.
But that came back in the panel later. That was interesting to me. Alberto, what character are you looking forward the most to see return?
I want to see what's his name? The guy from the prison. That he lived. No, Kenoloy is still trying to swim with Melshi. Because Melshi left, but we know he's there. He's part of the rebellion in Rogue One. So I want to see how he went from, hey, give me that blaster. We can't keep hiding. We got to find more. See, that reunion is going to be interesting. I love Deidre, so I want to see more of her. And Saw Gerrera is that. I want to see that split, the actual split between Saw Gerrera and Mon Mothma. We know the rebel scene. We all quote the rebel scene. Let me see that. Let me see when he says, or what he does, that Mon Mothma and Luthen all say kind of, we can't with this guy. Okay. And I don't blame him for text death. I'm not one of those. But we know he's an extremist that goes to whatever length. So I want to see what happens.
I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I love the character, but I'm not a fan of his ideals because I fear people like him in the real world. I'm very excited to see my favorite twerps, Dwight and Angela, aka Cyril and Deidre, come back. I love those two characters. Love seeing them together in the stage, and I want to see also Bix. There was a lot of talk on how the events of season 1 shaped her for season 2. And man, they even showed like a reel of season 1. I even got emotional watching it. Oh, that show was so good.
It was pretty good. I got emotional just changing a little bit. One of the first reels that they showed was just lightsaber, like a lightsaber history at the beginning. That got me. Oh man. So yeah, again, very excited for season 2 of Andor 2024. I think they said they're gonna be done shooting by August of this year or May. And then a whole year of post-production for it to come out 2024.
He's hoping to release by next year.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
So yeah, I don't think we'll see the footage that was shown today. We'll probably have to wait for a trailer or
it's
something a little bit closer. No. There's no D23 this year. Maybe next year there'll be a D23 and we'll get something there.
I probably will release randomly, random day.
Yeah. Don't expect it for May 4th. We're already getting Vision Season 2.
When did we get the first Andor trailer?
Didn't we get that 10-minute scene May 4th of last year, and that was the first thing that we saw? Or did we see a trailer before then?
Wait, what 10-minute scene? I can't remember.
On May 4th of last year, Disney Plus released like a 10-minute scene of Andor, and it's that scene on Season 2 when he's giving the Star Path to Luthen when they meet for the first time.
Cassian Andor.
Yeah, I think that was the first thing we saw from Andor. I might be wrong, but that's what I remembered.
Yeah. Thank God, it's been a year already.
Yeah. All right, Ote, I think this brings an end. See, Mo is saying trailer was last year.
Okay.
See, again, Maker of Andor Season 1 special May 4th. Again, we haven't gotten that. I'm surprised that we haven't gotten a making of Andor.
Yeah, I'm hoping or maybe they're waiting until Season 2 ends to just do one documentary. I don't know.
Nah,
hey, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Okay, Krennic will be in Season 2, no doubt. Let's see, Mo. I hope so. I'll cry like a baby.
I was going to say Krennic, but you said returning character, so I couldn't go with Krennic.
Okay, sorry. 50 Seconds of Potato Can was good. Yeah, I really can't remember what happened.
Yeah.
More Cyril in silly hats.
I saw. People saw that he has a silly hat also this year.
Yeah.
I mean, for Season 2.
Oh, Lauren. We're waiting for an art of book for Andor, and I agree, we have not gotten one. Interesting.
That's a nice one also.
Yeah.
So art of books were 50% off today on Amazon.
What?
So Mando Season 2 art book was $20, and then the High Republic one was $30 from $50, so almost.
I'm gonna buy it right now.
There you go. I was this close. My wife asked, "Do you want one?" I said, "I'll wait." I don't know why.
No, I want the High Republic one.
I was so close to get that one.
I've been waiting for a sale on it. Oh my God, it is on sale.
See, you're welcome.
Thank you, Alberto.
Some good came out of this today. So tomorrow, day 2 of celebration, I think we have the Ahsoka panel and the High Republic tomorrow. So I'm surprised that we got the Ahsoka trailer today with the panel tomorrow.
I think they're gonna drop something else tomorrow.
Since they showed, for the people out there, the Mandalorian episode 7 today, and you said maybe that's when we'll see Thrawn, do you think we'll get a Thrawn reveal tomorrow, and who's playing him?
I don't think we'll see Thrawn in Mandalorian. I think they'll reveal him tomorrow. I think Lars Mikkelsen or whoever is gonna play him will show up and they'll, this is Thrawn, meet Thrawn, and I think they'll get a scene probably for the people there. I'm bummed that the panel is not streaming though, because last year the stream would start at the same time as Celebration. This year the timing of the stream is a little bit weird. It starts and ends at different times every day. Whatever.
I don't know. They keep changing the time a lot, but last week I couldn't tell what time everything was starting, so I'll just turn that TV on and see if it's
3 a.m.
I gotta wake up early. But tomorrow we have our friend Amy Guerra joining us straight from London. Hopefully she's awake when we get to her.
You're gonna be so tired.
Again, we'll talk more about Ahsoka. We'll talk about the High Republic. We'll probably get a lot about Phase 3. And then we're going to be talking about the Mandalorian Episode 6, the Guns for Hire, which has a lot of people talking on Star Wars Twitter before Celebration started. So we'll get all of that tomorrow. Get your thoughts, guys. As we start saying goodbye, Oti, I just want to say thank you to everyone that joined us today on the chat. Not only did we get a very lively chat that we always love, but you guys stayed for the whole show. So thank you there, Lauren, Mo, Alan. Sorry if I missed anyone. Just going through the chat real quick. From a certain point, SQ, Roberto, Dale, Brennan, everyone that showed up today. Thank you. You guys are awesome. As always, thanks for giving us your support. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and you subscribe to our show. Did I miss someone from the beginning? No. And Mo, as we said, make sure you join us tomorrow if you can at our regular time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And I guess a great guest tomorrow. But Oti, just tell people where to find you, because you're posting not just here, but you're posting your celebration recaps on your own show.
Yeah, you can find me over at EP Star Wars. I'm doing daily recaps of Celebration, and they're in Spanish, so sorry, but yeah, that's the way it works.
We might start our show talking in Spanish tomorrow. We'll see how that happens. Just hang on a couple of minutes. We'll switch back to English. But for us, as always, thanks for joining us today at Radio Rebel Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and on Hive. Radio Rebel Podcast.wordpress.com. I was gonna do a Star Wars Celebration recap there, but I just couldn't find the time. Rey's back. She's back, and we love it. Well, join us tomorrow again at 5 p.m. Eastern. Stay safe. Be safe. And may the Force be with you. For light and life.
For light and life.